Whenever it comes to Labor Day, I do think about work, and I can't help but think of my dad when I think about work. My dad, I would say, at least on the surface of it, is not the most spiritual person that you will have ever met. And at first glance, you would not think so. Now, my mother, on the other hand, is one who would most likely give you an outward expression of faith. She's an incredibly deep, faithful person. My dad is mostly non-emotional and very practical. He has an engineering orientation toward life. In other words, he likes to know how things work, and he likes fixing them if they do not work. And so Saturday mornings, we would often work on the family car or on his pickup truck. And we would do things like we would change the oil and grease the fittings and change the spark plugs, change the brakes, repair whatever else needed to be fixed. And it could be a starter, it could be brakes, it could be a water pump, it could be a radiator, it could be radiator hoses, it could be a carburetor, or it could be the muffler. And I found that working on the muffler, by the way, changing a muffler is exhausting. Okay, so forgive me for that one. Anyway, he would wake me up on Saturday mornings in a military style. You know, what do you think this is? Your birthday? And one time I said, well, it actually is my birthday. It's because it fell on that Saturday. And he learned this when he served in the Air Force. And we're grateful to him and to all those who served in the military. It may not surprise you that when I was a teenager and he would come in at 6 a.m. in the morning and he would put his foot on the edge of my bed and make it bounce up and down and say, time to get up, you're burning daylight. What do you think this is, your birthday? Oh, no. It may not surprise you that I sometimes had an attitude when I was awakened this way. But really, it was at this time in that work together that my dad became a very spiritual man. I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. Because we are a theologically diverse congregation with our campfires of traditional theist and non-theist and humanist atheists, I use a very basic definition of spirituality that allows us to talk to each other about the deep things of life. I encourage us to think of spirituality as an orientation toward life. Is life a friend or is it an enemy? My dad encouraged me to have an orientation toward work. An orientation toward work that embraced work as a friend and not an enemy. In fact, I think I could make a case, and my brothers would probably join me, that our dad, Donald H. Heinzman, could be canonized as the saint of work. The spirituality of work. It has mostly served me well in my life. One aspect of Labor Day is taking a day off. So it should probably be called non-Labor Day, but it's Labor Day. Taking a day off to be with family, to prepare for a change of seasons. Clean the gutters. Move all of your white clothes into the hall closet because it's a no-no to wear white after Labor Day. Do people still do that, by the way? Wait a minute. Do people still do that, by the way? No. Okay. I thought I heard a yes in there somewhere. Someone said yes. Oh, there's some thumbs up there. Okay. All right. By the way, you are unique and unrepeatable as you are in the minority, that you still move your white clothes to the hot closet and you don't wear white after Labor Day. But another aspect of Labor Day is to think about our spirituality of work. That is our orientation toward work. I'm talking about the work that we're doing now. I'm talking about the work that we were paid for. Perhaps we're retired now. I'm talking about all those things, but I am not limiting our thoughts about our work or just our jobs or our careers. I think Labor Day is a good time for us to think about the meaning of the meaning of our work. Or maybe for a lot of people, the lack of meaning in their work. You see, there's a process that can unfold of becoming estranged from our work. The idea is when I work for someone else, I get a paycheck and it helps me pay the bills. But the product that I produce with my hands, the product I produce by infusing my creativity, it may help me pay the bills, but the product I produce with my labor is not mine. The creation of my hands and my effort, it disappears down a conveyor belt. And at that point, my job becomes a means to an end, and I become alienated from a big chunk of my life. There's a song by Lunch Money Lewis. I got bills I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day. I got mouths I gotta feed, so I'm gonna make sure everybody eats. I got bills. This is the rat race that many of our children and grandchildren are rejecting. As a society, I think we're learning that we can push the reset button on our lives. We can push the reset button on our spirituality of work. And we can do our work differently. Instead of being alienated from a third of our life, we can recover a spirituality of work. When we see all the help wanted signs and wonder why people are not clamoring to get jobs, it may be because there were almost 700,000 deaths in our society, but it may also be not because people are lazy, not because they're getting too many handouts. It may be related to this 18, 19 months of skirting the edges of a COVID death and wondering, what are they doing with their life? We forget that our labor history was violent. It was bloody. We forget our great-grandparents fought for fair wages and decent hours that raised the standard of living in our country. At the heart of the labor movement was claiming and asserting the dignity of every worker. And this is what's going on now. A claiming and asserting of human dignity in the workplace. I remember in the early days of the COVID pandemic, we honored the essential workers. It was like we hadn't noticed them before. We realized that we needed them. We needed them to take the risk so that we could eat and function. We took so many people for granted. And for a long time, we forgot to see their humanity. An orientation toward any aspect of life can always have seeds of gratitude. On Labor Day, we can be especially mindful of our labor neighbor. A song by Carrie Newcomer captures this idea. They lay hands on boards and bricks and loud machines. With shovels and rakes and buckets of soap they clean. And I believe that we should bless every shirt ironed and pressed. Salute the crews out on the road, those who stock shelves and carry loads. Whisper thanks to brooms and saws, dirty boots and coveralls. Bow my head to the waitress and nurse. Tip my hat to farmer and clerk. All those saints with skillets and pans and the work of their hands. In humble, it's humble, it's physical. It's only love made visible. Yes, now I understand. This is the work of many hands. This is the work of our hands. As I said, I was given a work ethic by my dad, and so I work a lot. And some people will say to me, people who love and care for me, they'll say, Ken, you need to stop. You need to quit working so hard. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. I worked on barges. I've worked in fast food. I cleaned floors in large box department stores. I've done a lot of hard work. What I do now is not hard work. I may work a lot, but I don't work hard. I see the people out there that work hard, and I thank them. I thank them. I bow my head to the waitress and the nurse, tip my hat to the farmer and the clerk, and all those working on the side of the road, and those who take care of my lawn, all those that roof the houses. Hard work. They are saints. And so you see, there is this sacramental quality to life, a sacramental quality to work. It is a sacrament to being creative, to serving others, and contributing in your way to the greater good. It is a sacrament by which grace and love and peace and prosperity, provision breaks into our lives and is experienced as grace. And so Labor Day can remind us of this. And all year long, we can remind each other. Have a good Labor Day.